Whenever I could post this video, this is a video that needs to be put up. This is a video that needs to be put up. So this is just a reminder to me, you know. I was watching a YouTube video of a prophet. He was an older man, white hair, glasses, wearing okay clothes. Just an average looking, pretty average prophet. Someone who calls themselves a prophet of God, and he actually gets the approval of media and the people in society who call themselves Christian. Mildly spiritual, is more so bigger on predictions and insight. That's pretty much the prophet that we have today. Very big on predictions. I'm gonna predict that this is gonna happen, and shooting rounds in the darkness, looking at the season that we're in. At this point, it's a science. Holding meetings, charging people to come in. You know how it is. Bethel type crap. The Lord, when I was watching his videos, because the title on the video was "Angels Are Flowing Over America," and had an image of him talking. It had a little image of him with the microphone, him talking. I thought he was gonna talk about angels. I'm seeing it going down my YouTube feed. He gonna talk about angels, and I've been praying pretty tight. I've been praying about it, and I felt my anointing and camp around the area. I literally thought it was gonna be some insight about me. Lo and behold, it was like a 44-minute video of him talking about all of the crap that God's been having him go through. Some Asian people came up to me. Them guards, very well-known guards, came up to me talking about how I'm gonna have issues, and I had this well-known other prophet on another media. We was talking about this and praying, and I was praying on this and praying on that, and you know, a lot of the spirit that I was getting was a lot of boasting. It was a lot of boasting. Yeah, I pray tight, and I have a really close relationship with God, and oh, God gave me a dream about this. Literally blabbing on me. Oh, cool, like it's this crap. And so the Lord spoke to me about. I skipped through the video because I looked at it, I saw it was a 44-minute video. I was like, when is he gonna talk about the angels? Literally like 15 minutes into the video, I'm like, what is it? I looked at the time, I was like, dude, this is a 44-minute video. This dude having a whole speaking, like this is whole talking section in a church meeting. I'm like, dang. So I skipped through and I stopped like halfway through the video, and I saw him sideways, and he was looking towards the crowd. It was like the camera was on his side. He was looking towards the crowd, talking with the microphone. And I looked at him, and the Lord, like it just clicked in my spirit. The Lord said, "That is a Saul." He said, "That is a Saul." I literally feel. He said, "That is a Saul." He, they, the group of people who are influential in prophetic words, the so-called prophets of this generation, has compromised the things of God. I mean, every mainstream prophet, everyone whom the society, the culture of the church, they make the culture of the church, and they have compromised the dreams and revelations that God has been giving them, saying to themselves that God has not given me the time to speak on this. Oh, the door has not opened. God has not made it clear that this is from him. I'm still praying on it. It is an abomination in the eyes of God. They have disobeyed God. And this church has become so cold-hearted, so thirsty for the satisfaction of their tickling ears. They've become so spiritually sound to themselves that they become blind to God. They become so comfortable judging their own righteousness in their eyes and in the eyes of these false prophets who actually have no relationship with God. Because if they did, they would have known that God desires obedience rather than sacrifice. They've become so comfortable that they've turned their backs on God. Not in a way in which they no longer pray. He that had eyes to see, let him see, and ears to hear, let him hear. God is taking their throne, their lampstands, their crowns away. They have been given over to the delusion of this world so that their soul will be saved on the coming of Christ. That God has pushed them out of the way. They have become an obstacle that God had to get over. And he regretted making them a prophet to speak to the masses. God has done all of these things because they've become disobedient. Not because they're not praying. Not because they don't fast. But they've lost the spirit of obedience. They've become so comfortable with how they seek God that they've put God in a box. And because the box that they put God in is a lot bigger than the box that other people whom they surround themselves around puts God in, they seem quite enlightened. That they've chased enlightenment in the understanding of this world, denying not themselves, but denying the understanding of anything else other than their God, which is their own mind, which is their own heart, which is their own capabilities of being accurate in what they say. They seek accuracy and they seek approval in men and in numbers. They seek approval in the amount that logs into their lives, in the amount that joins their meetings, and them selling out the tickets to their things and to their gatherings. They seek approval in those things than having the approval of God. Obedience in God. They've forgotten their first love. Oh, yes, but in comparison to other people, they seem quite Christian. They seem quite blessed. They seem in good standing with God. That's because you look at them the way that men look at them. You fall right into their nets, right into their traps of self-promotion and righteousness in their own eyes, self-virtue, false humility. Yes, because behind closed doors, they have no God. In their prayer closets, they lift up their prayers to their own thoughts. Stretch my mind that I may be able to think higher. Deepen my understanding that I may be able to grab hold to what I value. Yes. Stretch my hand out further, O God, that I might be able to subdue even them across the lake. An abomination. And God is sad that He has made these people prophets. God said, I gave you one dream. I gave you a vision and I gave you an experience. I've given you the gift to prophesy, and you hear and see things that others do not hear nor do they see. I gave you these things so that you can continue to grow in me. But you become so complacent with the following. You've become so complacent with the views. You've become so complacent with the name you're making for yourself here. You call yourself a prophet of the Lord, but you're nothing more than a sorcerer, a witch. You are led by Jezebel, seeking the satisfaction of your own desires, and you scoff at those who critique you. What do you know? How often do you pray? How often do you fast? What reading or what things have you given out that was as accurate as what I say? Do you not know how many followers I have? Do you not know how many people gather around me to listen to what I say? What do you know? At least when Saul heard what Samuel said, Saul realized that he has sinned. Better it will be in the humiliation of Saul being dethroned and watching David rise up and subdue his kingdom. More tolerable will it be for Saul, and was it for Saul, to watch David rise up and take his throne personally, that it will be for any one of these prophets seeing God grow on the backs and minds and hearts and words of these scoffed at, roach stomping looking prophets that will come up from the gutters. For they will grow and they will subdue and they will rule with an iron rod that they will thrash and dash to pieces any other ministry that grows up against them, because they will know God. They will know God. Because they will be obedient. These prophets don't even speak the words of God anymore. These prophets don't even speak the words of God anymore. They don't even speak their own words anymore. They take what they get from other people. They watch other ministries. And then they make their own predictions based off of that, which is why they call them predictions. What come true, what doesn't come true. Let me spend a couple days fasting so that I can get this anointing of God over me, and let me sit in meditation. Let these Jezebel spirits get to me. Did you not know that witches fast? Hold on. Did you not know Satanists fast whenever they want to? Well, you don't want me to go there. Fasting does nothing but break down the body so that the soul may be able to stand up. It's used both by the children of God and the children of Satan. Did you know this? That it's a real thing. That everything that Jesus taught, witches and warlocks, they can do the same thing. You're seeing people casting out so-called demons. They're really manifesting. What are they manifesting? If these Muslims are making these what is coming out? The spiritual realm and the things of the spirit is a lot more complicated than you think. That the false prophet is going to come down bringing fire from the heavens. And they're going to be speaking blasphemy against God, but it's not going to be blatant blasphemy. It's going to be well thought out words that makes even the saints question. As Jesus says, that these antichrists are going to be coming up to deceive all men. If the elect as well. Even some elect might get deceived into thinking that some of these people know what they're talking about. Which means that their words are going to be a lot more than just Jesus never existed. They're going to be saying things, claiming to know God, claiming to know the Most High, claiming to know all these things. But in reality, what they'll be spewing out is foolishness. These SAULS are opening up the doors for them. Saul was anointed king by Samuel. And Saul was removed, cast out through the words of Samuel. Saul was told to go to the people who persecuted Israel in the times of God's judgment on Israel, and to destroy both women and children, men and flocks, dash to pieces gold and silver, just wreck shop the entire country, the kingdom. Saul gathered some people and he went out 200,000, and he went out and he did what God told him to do. However, he did not destroy the things of value to him in his eyes and the eyes of his people. The things that were of value, the best of the flock, he took. The price, the very expensive jewelries and potteries, he took. And the king that is anointed, the king he captured, he spared. The king of this ugly country was valuable. And so Saul, seeing, Samuel seeing Saul, Samuel came to Saul and said, "You did not obey what God said." As a matter of fact, I will tell you exactly what Saul said to Samuel. He says, now Samuel went to Saul and said, and Saul said to him, "Blessed are you of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of God." He greeted Saul or Samuel, saying, "I did the thing of God," rejoicing. And Saul, which is a very interesting thing. He disobeyed God because God said get rid of everything. But in his eyes, he did good. But Samuel said, What then is this bleating of the sheep in my ears and the lowing of the oxen that I hear?" And Saul said, "They have brought them from the Amalekites. For the people spared the best of the sheep and the oxen to sacrifice to the Lord your God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed." He says, because in his eyes he believes that God desires sacrifice. That's something very holy to God. Who a sacrifice. Oh, the burnt smell of the oxen and the sheep and all that other stuff. Samuel then said, when you were little in your own eyes, were you not head of the tribes of Israel? And did not the Lord anoint you king over Israel? Now the Lord has sent you on a mission and said, "Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, the Am, I'm not even going to do that, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they were consumed." Why then did you not obey the voice of the Lord? Why did you swoop down to the spoil and do evil in the sight of the Lord? And Saul said to Samuel, "But I have obeyed the voice of the Lord and gone on the mission on which the Lord sent me and brought back Agag, king of Amalek. I have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the plunder, sheep and oxen, the best of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice to the Lord your God in Gilgal." And so Samuel said, "Holy, holy, 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 holy. Has the Lord as great, has the Lord as great delight in burnt offering and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Has the Lord as great delight in the burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed than the fat of rams and come on, come on, come on, come on. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed than the fat of rams, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he also has rejected you from being king. Samuel said, "Is the Lord one that delights in burnt offerings Or is he the one who delights in obedience? These prophets believe that they are doing well by God because they see themselves, oh, I fast. Oh, I give out prophecies. Oh, my prophecies are accurate, so I must be in good standing with God. Oh, I have a nice house. Oh, I have a nice car. Oh, my whole life is ministry. My whole life is ministry. I must be doing good in the eyes of God. He says that he is a God of obedience. He's a God of obedience. Before you look at anything else, am I following him? Am I listening to the little things that he says? It's the little things that God looks at. It's the little things. We're getting so captivated by the bigger, bigger, bigger because society is saying bigger, bigger, bigger. But they're getting too big and they've already outgrown their britches. Bigger, bigger, bigger sometimes can just be hot air. Bigger, bigger, bigger can sometimes be like that of a cloud in the sky, passing with the wind. Oh, it's a big cloud that got in front of the sun. It covered up the sun. It's dark. And we think that the shadow of the cat the shadow being cast by the big cloud means that the cloud is awesome. But the cloud is being drifted off by the east wind. But you're still standing. Greater are you than the cloud. But you're not big as the cloud. Nor is your shadow as big as the cloud's shadow, but you're greater than a cloud. You block no sun, but you're not a passing shadow. Ministries will pass away. YouTube channels will lose following. Lives will lack visitors. Things may go your way, but the words of the Lord and the faithful in his glory, the obedient will last forever. Be blessed in Jesus' name.